Hello everyone, I'm the Weather Dude. Welcome back, and today we are giving our forecast on another upcoming major winter storm. So stay tuned for the whole video and enjoy. Before we get started with the video though, if you guys have not already, please consider subscribing. It really does help my channel grow. I want to thank you guys so much for 2,000 subscribers. We've flown past, and hopefully we can hit our next goal of 3,000 subscribers soon. And also, to help this video reach more people, please consider liking and sharing it as well. And let's get into the video now. And of course, we're going to start looking at our oscillations here. All right, so there is going to be an upcoming major winter storm, and this one will most likely actually be a blizzard. Now, I might be thinking, well, where's the 1, 2, 3 feet of snow? The snow, like having a blizzard has nothing to do with the snow amounts. It has to do with how long does it last? Is there falling snow? It has to be a certain criteria of wind, and there's got to be the visibility as well. All right, a lot of things go into a blizzard, but snow amount is not one of them. But this next storm that sweeps across the upper Midwest, probably tomorrow and through Friday, this will most likely be a blizzard. Not for everybody, but for some people. We will see blizzard conditions. So let's start off here with the oscillations. You can see why there's so much cold air throughout the central and the eastern U.S. Look how far down the AO, the Arctic Oscillation, is going. We're talking about 4, 5, 6 below the zero line, all right, all the way through mid-February even. All right, so that is a long time. And even the NAO is staying below zero through mid-February. All right, so the oscillations, as always, I like to show these in the beginning. These are definitely lining up. And since this storm is happening really soon, we have a lot of models that we're going to be able to look at, and we have a lot of confidence in the snow totals and when it's going to happen, so be sure to stay tuned for that. And we have our PNA, which is actually going back up now. And of course, our positive Pacific North American Oscillation means cold air for the central and for the east. Means the same thing that a negative NAO and a negative AO would mean. All right, so perfect map here by the Weather Channel. Definitely does describe it. The low is going to kind of swing through and then back up again. It's going to bring some snow to the upper Midwest. Wisconsin and Michigan probably getting some of the highest totals. And we'll see about system number 2. I've seen like the models like completely dump this system. I really don't think it's going to, I really think it's just going to go like too far off the coast and really not that much cold air. But things could still change with the second system. But today we're talking about system number 1. This does have the potential, and it probably will become Winter Storm Peggy. But this, I love that name, Peggy. But anyway, this will definitely be where we could see some heavier snows. And according to the Weather Channel here, maybe even over 8 inches in some spots. All right, we're going to take a look and see what the models think as well. All right, so real quick, Climate Prediction Center here. You can just see this is February 9th to the 13th. And you can see the darker blues where we see highest confidence in colder air. Remember, the darker blue does not mean we're going to see colder air than in the light blue. Also, darker blue means that we have a higher confidence in so. All right, and you can still see, all right, pretty much the entire U.S. except for southern Florida and the Four Corners. Probably everywhere else besides that. Even Alaska is going to be below average as well. This is the 9th through the 13th. Even going through the 11th through the 17th, the east is going to be cold. The central U.S. is going to be cold. Pretty much the complete opposite of what we originally thought was going to happen for February. And again, maybe the Four Corners, slight chance of above average temperatures. Okay, all right, let's get into the models now. We're starting off, of course, with GFS, European. We got a whole bunch more models as well. All right, really excited here. So let's get right into it. And starting with the GFS, you can see as soon as this is like literally like when you wake up for work on tomorrow and Thursday, you can see a lot of heavy snow in the magenta in western Iowa, some very heavy snow. And by the way, this is the latest updates here, latest forecast. We got the latest run of the GFS that just came out. And you can see the magentas is like, this is like your near blizzard conditions kind of snow. Very heavy snow, lots of stronger winds in there as well. Even the darker blues do represent heavy snow. And this is going to kind of slide like this. It's going to be like a little bit of a wall of precipitation, like a shield of precip that just, it dips down, swings through, and it kind of pivots back this way. So you'll see, watch the snow, how it just pivots back north. There we go. All right, so that means, that kind of storm movement means that the east is going to miss out, or at least the mid-Atlantic and coastal northeast will be missing out on some of the bigger snow totals. Now this will probably arrive for like place like Chicago Thursday afternoon, but the snow will probably be wrapping up by about Thursday night. It's not going to be lasting very long. Place like Detroit, for example, like the snow could be on your on your doorstep maybe around like Thursday night-ish, like we're talking about like after dark. But like you can see, even for Detroit, it might even go over to a little bit of a rain or rain-snow mix. But in terms of when the precip could end, 2 a.m. Friday looks like it'll be done for you in Detroit. All right, and then it kind of all swings out. So snow totals with the GFS model here. All right, as you can see, it's not a whole lot. Again, blizzard has nothing to do with the snow totals, right? You can see like in central Iowa here, I think this is where the blizzard warnings are. And you can see most of the snow is actually over here. So it just has to do with, is there falling snow? Are there sustained winds of 35 miles an hour plus? Is there a quarter mile less visibility? And does this all last for 3 hours or more? That's what defines a blizzard, right? Not seeing 2 feet of snow. It does not define a blizzard, all right? Now, snowfall totals, maybe in the northern tip of Michigan, even the GFS is calling for over a foot, like northern tip of Michigan, like the UP. But more widespread accumulations, 5 to 10 inches. I definitely do agree with that. Chicago, 5 or 6 according to this model and model run. I think GFS puts like the highest totals in 2 places. One, the eastern tip of Iowa, even through central northern Michigan, probably like 5 to 8. Even a couple areas within that zone, in this zone here, maybe passing 9. And then the western lake shore of Michigan, probably a little bit higher here, maybe even past 10 inches on the western lake shore of Michigan, because of the way the low is going to be. We're going to have some winds coming out of this direction that could help with a little bit of lake enhancement, maybe 10 or close to 11, but mostly good 5 to 8 inches for a widespread amount of us here. All right, next model run is the European model run. All right. As you can see, here's the snow taking shape. We got that nice mixed line, that nice 32-ish degree line. All right, you got the heavier snow right around northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin here, kind of swings through. Again, where those magentas do fall, those heavier bands, is where we're going to see some of the little bit heavier snowfall. And yes, this will be, again, because there's blizzard warnings, this will be a very big wind maker too. Even if you don't get like a downright blizzard, like widespread, like 5 states getting a blizzard, all right, even if that probably won't be the case. But even if you don't, you're still going to see winds 30 miles an hour, 35 miles an hour. And many places will see what we call blizzard conditions, right? Where maybe we get 35, 40 mile an hour winds, or maybe our visibility does drop below a quarter of a mile, but maybe it only lasts for like 2 hours and not 3, because that's the requirement. So we can see patchy blizzard conditions, but some areas might not meet the full requirement of a quote unquote blizzard. But northern central Iowa is under that blizzard warning, so possibly for you guys. And then the low really deepens, 986 millibars of pressure here as we head into 2 a.m. on Friday. All right, and then probably down 984, maybe even after that. And it will be strengthening as it kind of lifts off, and maybe some snow flurries kind of lingering behind it. So European snowfall totals a bit on the lighter side, I actually have to say, especially kind of like on the western lakeshore of Michigan, only about 4 to 6, as opposed to like upwards of 8, 9, 10, 11 with the GFS. They put some of the higher totals, 5 to 8 with patchy 10 inches up there in northern Wisconsin and UP and Michigan. Northern central Wisconsin, I should say, as well. All right, in places like Milwaukee and places like Madison, probably 3 or 4 inches, maybe back towards Madison, maybe 5 inches. But really, again, Iowa, not that much, 1 or 2 inches. But this is, I'm going to show you actually the National Weather Service out of Iowa, and you'll actually see it looks very similar to the European model actually. Chicago, GFS had you about 5 or 6. European has you in about 3.5. Detroit, maybe 2 or 3 inches for you guys, according to this model. Now, actually, what was the GFS for Detroit? What I think was, probably like an inch or 2. So European model might be a little bit better in that regard. All right, next model here we have is the Canadian model. Really, in terms of like how the storm looks and like the dynamics of it, all the models pretty much agree on that. And even timing as well. Like you can see Thursday afternoon it's coming in. All right, then lasting through Friday 2 a.m. You can see here's the low. Snow gets pretty far south, actually, maybe a little bit further south. That cold air gets a little bit further south, but the Canadian model, like down like even central Illinois, like even central southern Indiana, Indianapolis even. All right, some of the models really don't call for as much snow getting down there, but the snow will be tapering off here by like literally Thursday afternoon in Michigan, especially like lower Michigan, not UP, but lower Michigan. Thursday afternoon, might not see any snow. Like when you go to bed Thursday night, tomorrow night, you might not still see snow, but then by the time you wake up on Friday, it might even be gone. So this won't be lasting very long, all right, for most people. Probably maybe 6 to 12 hours, maybe around that range. Now, Canadian model, again, the western lakeshore of Michigan, we got that air coming from the west, we got the wind coming from the west, maybe 5 to 8 as much as 9. Other than that, though, a majority 3 to 6, with maybe also the UP getting more than 6 inches. This will be, I would call this more of a moderate to major event. major, especially because of the wind. That's what's really, it's going to make it major. The blizzard conditions that we're going to be seeing, and even like actual like blizzard criteria maybe even being met in a state like Iowa. All right, so here's what I was saying in National Weather Service office out of Iowa. I'll even give it a little refresh, even though I just set this up just in case. So Des Moines itself is under an advisory, but Fort Dodge, Ames, Iowa, Marshalltown, Waterloo, well-known place there. Mason City, Iowa, also well-known place. You guys are under blizzard warnings. All right, now if I go, and I will show you the snow total map too, but if I open up the blizzard warning and we scroll down here, you can see total 2 to 4 inches, but it says blizzard conditions expected, right? So it doesn't matter about the snow totals, but look at the visibilities, 1/4 of a mile or less. There, you see that. Winds will be gusting as high as 45 miles an hour. Now the criteria is for 35 mile per hour sustained winds, meaning we're pretty much getting that wind all the time. But if we have very frequent wind gusts that get to 45 pretty often, that does count. All right. But if we have, like, for example, one wind gust that gets to 50 miles an hour, that does not count. All right. So we got the visibility you can see here. We got the falling snow as you can see here. We got the wind as you can see here. Now, all it needs to do is last 3 hours, and that's basically blizzard conditions. Now, look at the snowfall total map. Looks very similar to the European model, right? Probably the eastern and northeastern part of the state will get the higher totals, 3 to 6. Maybe one place there might get over 6. But even Des Moines, I mean, we could still see upwards of 3 or 4 inches, 2 to 5, 1 to 4 in Fort Dodge. Like, remember, Fort Dodge was also under the blizzard warning, right? Might not even see a few inches of snow. All right, but the wind will definitely be blowing it around. So look out for drifting snow. Drifting snow will definitely be a problem as well. So even if you have 2 or 3 inches on the ground, you might get a drift that goes up to 5 or 6. All right, make it look like there's more snow. I just love snow drifts. I don't know why. All right, now here we got our last couple of models here to look at. We got the NAM model. Again, since we're pretty close to the event, we can look at the NAM model now. So here's a NAM model. We can't look at the HER quite yet, but we can look at the NAM. And you can see, because the HER only goes out like most runs of the HER only go out 18 hours, and I believe a few of them go out 48 hours, but not quite enough yet. Anyway, we have the NAM model here. As you can see, for a place like southwestern Wisconsin, it could start for you guys as maybe some ice, actually, according to the NAM model, meaning we got warm air up in the atmosphere and we got colder air at the surface. But anyway, precip starting in western Wisconsin, maybe around Thursday morning, mid-morning, going through the afternoon, flips to snow, and then for southwestern Wisconsin, ends Thursday night, and then it pushes into Chicago. And you can see Indianapolis is in it. I mean, according to the NAM model, it's getting pretty far south according to this particular model, the NAM 12KM. All right, and then precipitation lifts up, storm really gets going. You get some cold air generating behind it as well. And hopefully I'll be making a video on it soon. Definitely a lot of Arctic air, trust me. I hope you guys don't think that I don't know what's coming, because the cold air is coming. It's going to be very, very brutal, like very brutal. All right, so hopefully I'll be able to talk about that in the near future. NAM model snow totals, again, you got your 5 to 8 widespread and isolated 9-inch totals. And like the GFS, maybe in a very extreme northern tip of the UP, maybe around like the Sault Ste. Marie area, maybe you guys can get closer to a foot. Again, Western Michigan, 8 or 9 inches, possibly 10 or 11, anywhere in the middle there. You can see 10. Detroit, Motown there, 5 inches. Only 2 to 3, though, for Chicago, according to the NAM model. About 3 inches or so for a place like Indianapolis. But again, as you saw in the NWS graphic, eastern and northeastern Iowa will see the higher totals, even though central and northern Iowa are the ones under the blizzard warnings. All right. Now, here we are, the last model for today, the RDPS model. All right. And this model is actually pretty, chill, considering that with Orlena, they were calling for like 30, 40. I mean, they weren't wrong, but they were calling for like 30 inches in like this southern mid-Atlantic, right? Like and even 40 inches. That's a bit too much. But northern Jersey did see 30 inches, actually. Not widespread, but a few reports of about 32 inches, some close to 3 feet. That was crazy. It was crazy. So here we have the RDPS model. Again, the snow comes in pretty steady. Of course, those darker blue areas, I would say, like, as you can see, like the dark blue, you can see in the northern extent of the precipitation, right? And I would say it's actually right down the middle, right? Like right down the middle of that precipitation shield is where the heaviest snow is going to be, right? Like on the western side, you see some lighter blues. On the eastern side, you see some lighter blues. It's really going to be the middle, right? Like the center of that precip shield is where the heaviest snow and the heaviest snowfall rates will be. So once you do, I mean, everyone, like this heaviest snow will be in the middle. So everyone will see the heavier snow eventually, right? Because it's in the middle. It's got to affect, somebody. All right, so snow will come and swing through, heavier precip in the middle, and probably pulling out probably about Friday or so. Probably storm will be done. Again, kind of like the GFS was hinting at, and the NAM, 5 to 8, maybe over 9 or 10. Western Lakeshore, Michigan. Probably predicting the highest totals will be in the northern UP, western Michigan, and maybe even eastern Iowa through southwestern Wisconsin. So 1, 2, 3 regions are highlighted here for the higher snowfall totals. According to the RDPS, maybe 4.5 for Chicago, also 4.5 for Detroit, maybe 4 inches for Indianapolis. All right, so definitely still a major winter storm, and it still will definitely, I mean, it's going to be a blizzard. All right, believe it or not. All right, so it's still major impacts, and we'll see how the Sunday potential nor'easter, we'll see how that will play out as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. I am the Weather Dude signing off. Until next time, I will catch you guys in the next video.